Hi, my name is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today I'd like to talk to you about my Psychic 101 workshop. That's right. I teach a couple of series of workshops, and my basic one is called Psychic 101. I love this class because it's really teaching you about what your gifts and your abilities are, and kind of like how to connect to them, how to disconnect from them, how to keep them protected. And that's all really cool. Because you're learning about you. What are your true gifts and abilities? Not what someone else has, but what your true gifts and abilities are. And I think that's the really fun part about this class. And it's a really great way to kind of work with other students to learn about each of your abilities, their abilities. And so you kind of understand like, oh, I don't have the same gifts as she does, or I'm really good at this part and she's really good at that part. And that's the really fun part of class. So my classes run clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsensitive. And then what I call my bonus class is claircognizant, clairaudience, and claircognizance. And then I move into past life regression, and then we move into progression. So let me explain a little bit about this. My first class is clairvoyant, all about clear seeing, being able to see a ghost, an angel, an archangel. I work with a lot of archangels in my classes, kind of like, what is your psychic vision? How do you see things? And then kind of going into clairaudient is more like, how do you hear things? Do you hear muffled noises from the other side? Or do you hear sounds that no one else hears? Or do you hear knocking that no one else hears? What are those sounds? What could they be? And kind of how to interpret what those sounds are for yourself. Next is clairsensitive. This is that psychic feeling. I walked into a room and I felt this, or I feel anxious when I'm around a certain person, or I feel tired, or whatever it is. And I kind of teach you how to break these down so you can understand where your abilities are and how to keep them protected and who you require keeping them protected from. In my bonus class, I teach you about claircognizant, clairaudience, and claircognizance. And these are abilities like will come up on their own, but they're not really ones that you can really focus in on or learn more about and necessarily keep protected like the other ones. My next class is a past life regression. I lead my class in a guided meditation, usually 1 to 2 past lives per class. It just really depends on how big the class is. If it's really large, usually 1. If it's a little bit smaller, usually I can do 2. And kind of give you an understanding of where you may be having issues, or where there may be some energy that you choose to release or let go of, and kind of giving you more insight about a past life that you've had and kind of how to bring that to a healed state, or kind of even just a new understanding for yourself. When I go into my progression class, my class gets to choose 2 of the 3, usually 1 year out, 3 years out, and 5 years out. And this is a really great one where my students get to kind of pick and choose which 2 of the 3 that they want to do. And we get to go forward, kind of like, now that you've got your abilities, now that you understand a little bit more, where are you going to end up? And that line is always changing. So what you see in a 3-year meditation progression may not be what you get in 3 years. You could have gotten that 3-year mark in 2 years. Just because you know, like, oh my gosh, I really like this part and I can see myself doing that. So let's just run at that a little bit faster. Or maybe it's kind of like, hey, in my 5-year progression, I really found some things that I didn't really care for. So now I know when I get to that point, I get to make new choices. I get to make new decisions of what I want to do and where I want to go in my life. That's kind of the cool part. If you know you're going to make some wrong turns in the future, you can make those changes now before you ever get there. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.